Welcome again to the Holy Spirit verse by verse. Today we are in Acts 9:15 with the Holy Spirit's involvement in the conversion of Paul. This passage makes a statement of a fact. Paul, after his conversion, was filled with the Holy Spirit. While verse 17 makes no direct statement about how Paul was filled with the Spirit or the effect that infilling had upon him, the verses that follow do give some indication of it. In verses 18 to 20, the following structure appears. Immediately, something like scales fell from his eyes. Then he arose and was baptized, and immediately he proclaimed Jesus. While some may argue that the preacher Ananias' laying his hands on Paul was to empower Paul with the Holy Spirit, the rest of the Bible will not permit that conclusion. First of all, Ananias was not one of the 12. As we saw in episodes 161 and 162 about Acts 8:14 to 20, the power to lay hands on a man for the intention of giving him the Holy Spirit was reserved to the 12 apostles. In Acts 8:20, Peter directly states the non-apostle Simon had no part in the giving of the gift of God to others. It was a completely apostolic work. Ananias could not and did not give the Spirit to Paul. Second, in Galatians 1:10 to 12, Paul proclaims he received his inspiration about the gospel directly from Jesus. Paul then, in Galatians 1:17 to 22 and then 2:6, carefully makes clear that his teaching did not originate from the other apostles. If it could have been proven that Paul's reception of the gospel came from the administration of one outside of the 12, that would have been an even more severe blow to Paul's credibility. Here in Acts 9, Luke cannot be affirming as the truth a statement that went even beyond the criticism Paul received by his critics in Galatia. If the 12 did not give the Spirit to Paul, Ananias certainly was not qualified to do so. Additionally, the break between the immediate falling away of the scales and Paul's immediate preaching of the gospel is purposeful. Ananias' touch on Paul cured him of his blindness. You can confirm that by looking back to verse 12. It records this statement. He has seen in a vision a man named Ananias come in and lay his hands on him so that he might regain his sight. While this verse affirms that Ananias did have miraculous power to heal, it makes no mention that Ananias would be the source of Paul's infilling of the Spirit. Ananias was there to cure blindness. Paul then heeded the command to arise and be baptized, compare Acts 22:16. After obeying the gospel, God filled Paul with the Holy Spirit. That empowering, just as it had done with the 12 apostles in Acts 2, allowed Paul to proclaim immediately Jesus, a doctrine unknown to him just days before. On the whole, this passage is descriptive of Paul's conversion experience and the subsequent empowering of the apostle who became the apostle to the Gentiles.